thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you, Keith. Congratulations, Food Not Bombs, on 45 years of service. How about it? How about that?
Food Not
Woo!
Bombs.
Feed you people. Thanks so much. Got more coming up?
Big hand for Clan Dyken. They came all the way up from Southern California. Weren't they amazing? Absolutely. Big hand for Clan Dyken. Lovely to have them come out and everything in their beautiful green rock and roll bus. We're going to be breaking down for a few minutes and switching it out, and then Keith's going to come out and talk to you, and we got some fun stuff. Please stay. Don't forget to stay hydrated and have a ton of fun.
Hey, my handle is Eagle, but it's not about me. You know what? I'm honored to present this plaque to the remaining founder of Food Not Bombs. This guy has stayed with us, and it's all about solidarity. You people are magical, and Keith has been tortured, his van tipped over, he's been arrested, he's been hung by his wrist, and he stayed with it like the bull that he is. And he's committed to helping people that are less fortunate because, and they told us we were all gonna die because of the COVID. No, they were gonna starve us to death. And Keith says, well, that's not gonna happen. We'll feed 7 days a week. And we fed 7 days a week for 3 years. And so I want to give this plaque, I'm honored to give this plaque to Keith McHenry for his dedication. And it's all about solidarity. And this is just a token. Words cannot gratitude enough for what he's been the captain of this ship, and we get no government money. Thank you. Have a good time. This is a 45 carat award. For 45 years, he's been committed to helping the less fortunate. He has a heart like Tupelo honey, but a perseverance like a bull that he is.
Oh, bless you. Thank you, Eagles. Thanks, everyone. That's amazing. Oh, wow. What a trip. I didn't expect that. Wow. Oh, well. So I'm going to do my talks in chronological order, so you're going to get the whole 45-year history of Food Not Bombs. So the next aspect of this is after doing Food Not Bombs in Boston for 8 years, I moved to San Francisco, America's most liberal city, right? And Nancy Pelosi, Feinstein, Willie Brown, Kamala Harris, it's all groovy. So anyway, I set up at Golden Gate Park because there's no food for the hungry in the Haight-Ashbury. The Haight-Ashbury Soup Kitchen does Tuesday through Friday, and then the two churches do Saturday and Sunday, nothing on Monday. So we set up at the end of Haight at Stanton. It's groovy. We got the dead coming to the Coliseum. We're feeding about an extra few hundred people as a result. It's Rainbow City. It's fun. And then this hippie comes by and he said, hey, you can get a permit to serve food. It's really cool. So I sent a letter to Peter Ash of the Recreation and Parks Department to our little permit. Said, oh, we did this for 8 years in Boston. They love us. And I was actually friends with the mayor there. One of the famous Black Panthers, Carol Hill, was on the city council, and she worked with us. We had like a great time doing the first 8 years of Food Not Bombs in Boston. So I'm assuming this is going to be bliss in San Francisco. We don't have snow. It's going to be fantastic. And, you know, and Haight and Ashbury, what a great place for Food Not Bombs. So I keep going down to the Parks Department to find out when this permit's going to happen. And because the cops would come by every Monday, hey, how's your permit? And I go, oh, I don't know. I think I'll I'll go down after we serve and see what they got. They don't know what they're talking about there. They said, we never heard of a permit. Well, we'll leave a message with Peter Ash. So on August 15th, 1988, I had just gotten out of the hospital with a ruptured appendix, walked across the street, basically across the Panhandle, and I'm standing there. And riot police come out and arrest 9 of us, me and 8 others, for serving food without a permit that turns out it doesn't exist. Then, the next month, so people are upset. There's a photo of riot police blocking the food in the Chronicle, San Francisco Chronicle, on page 3. People are very upset about it, so they organize another march, and we march down Haight Street, banging pots and pans, carrying our food, and then we set up, and these riot police in the photo show up, probably about 45 riot police ultimately, maybe more. 24 people are arrested, and about 5 years ago I find out that the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force was there, and they sent a memo on the 29th of August to the FBI office in San Francisco, the field office, saying that we were a credible national security threat. So then, that Thanksgiving, Food Not Bombs volunteers would would fly home to visit their family, and they would, get on the plane, wait to get on the plane, and they have the Food Not Bombs button on, and National Guard people would come up and say, "Oh, we studied Food Not Bombs in domestic terrorism class this year. That's Thanksgiving of '88. That's America's most hardcore terrorist group." So, we're serving vegan meals. We're talking about peace. You should be talking about peace. Look at Trump, just has the $1 trillion military budget. He cut if his thing passes the Senate and he signs it, they're going to actually eliminate the $33 billion from HUD that HUD says if they had it, they could house every homeless American. What's the logic of that? Of waging all these wars while people living outside, people having huge loans for colleges, all the different things. The many phone calls I get every day from seniors across America looking for food, sometimes 20 in a day. The stories are unbelievable. So our goal originally was to get the 100th monkey, and to mention the 100th monkey, Clan Dyken, we met at the Nevada test site at the height of when we were discussing the book, The 100th Monkey, where one day a monkey starts washing their food in Africa, and monkeys in the Americas start washing their food. The 100th monkey, that's what that book's about. That somehow, and we're hoping that the words "Food Not Bombs" will finally resonate under the Trump administration, where there'll be so much power, so much force by the public going, "We need food and not bombs," that it becomes a reality instead of just a slogan and a name of a chapter. So when we met Clan Dyken, they were playing a free concerts at the Nevada test site. I believe that was '89, right? I don't know. Is any Clan Dyken people here? No. Okay. So anyway, in '89. So then in maybe like around that same time, we ended up doing our first SoupStock, and Clan Dyken was one of the original bands at the very first SoupStock concert. So then in 2009, I'm on a speaking tour, and I spoke at Princeton University. And I go back to the place where they have speakers speak, and it was like a weirdest thing, because there's like 7 bedrooms in this building. George Washington slept there apparently, or whatever. So then they go, "Wow, you get room 7. That's where Condoleezza Rice stayed last week." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, why is that?" Like something in my, I hope you wash the sheets, that's what. Anyway, so they give you, because these people are rich, man, so they got all these things that move things, like remote controls. They said, "This one's for the bed," and I'm like, "I'm not touching that." "This one's for the heat, and this one's for the TV." So I figure out how to get the TV on, and it's C-SPAN. I like watching book TV. I don't like watching normal TV. So anyway, there's a guy from Tufts University, the U.S. State Department official, talking about the people that serve the vegan meals in the park, and Al Qaeda, who is more dangerous. And they go like, at the end they're saying, Al Qaeda won't even last another 20 years. This is in April 2009. they won't last another 20 years. But those people that serve the vegan meals, they might go on another 30. But they never would use the name Food Not Bombs. And they said that the people that serve the vegan meals are much more dangerous than Al-Qaeda, because who wants to strap bombs on themselves and blow themselves up? And people lose enthusiasm for that type of activity. But people that serve food in the parks and are friendly and they're indigenous to their communities, they may have a dire impact on our country, because people might think that money should be diverted from military spending to education, healthcare, and other social services. Now, when I saw that, I thought, wow, that's really hardcore. But I didn't really, I almost thought it was a dream, So then I go to speak at Harvard Law, and I go to visit my dad, stay at his house, and he has a little guest room with a really old TV, and I turn it on, and I watch C-SPAN. It's the same exact lecture. And I'm like, if I hadn't seen it twice, I would have thought I was hallucinating it or something, or just too tired or something. But the fact is that the reason, according to the U.S. government, that we are one of America's most hardcore terrorist groups is because we're building solidarity amongst the people now of the world, but in those days the country, towards the idea that money should be diverted from military spending to healthcare, education, and other social services. And that is apparently a huge threat. So by lasting 45 years, we hope we're getting to that point now where it's so obscene that military spending relative to the cuts in social services and the suffering of the American people. I mean, look at Trump was supposed to be America first, to make America great again, right? That's his red hat. And and now all the money is going to Golden Dome and to Stargate and to the biggest military budget in the world, and it's just and you think always, when he had that first Stargate thing, you would have thought he was going to go, I'm going to give all my followers free lunch or something, but no, we're going to give $500 billion to do AI surveillance on you and wage a bunch more wars. That's what he decided to do. So now, I want in Santa Cruz, we are actually the epicenter of the war in Gaza and in the Middle East and against Russia, and that's because the people that you might have heard of Bookshop Santa Cruz, right? Well, Casey's brother Ryan Coonerty had a company called Predictive Policing, and Casey's husband, Michelle Prati, was the vice president at that time of Yahoo, and he donated millions of dollars to Ryan to build this predictive policing, which was used here in Santa Cruz, but it was so phony that eventually Justin Cummings was able to get a law passed to abandon it here. But it is used in LA. But then that code became the code for Palantir. Palantir is the largest military contractor in the world, and they are currently using Ryan Coonerty's invention to target children in Palestine, to target soldiers in Russia, and that same software is being used to wage wars in other parts of the world, and it's going to be used, or it is maybe already being used, to monitor us here in the United States and our activities. And looks like they're going to, the Palantir or their subsidiaries are going to get access to Social Security, to Medicare, to food stamps, to our health services in total, and essentially all of our information is going to be funneled, if they succeed, through this company started by the Central Intelligence Agency called Palantir, and we could seriously lose our rights in the very near future. So I'm really hoping that when you see news of another protest against the genocide in Palestine, that you show up and show solidarity, because when they're using this type of technology to wage a war, it is one of their messages is we'll use that technology to wage war on the people in the United States. and we can already see with deportations and homeless, increase in homeless sweeps and all that we are in a situation where we need to really unite and organize together and do whatever we can to stop these wars, because that war may be coming home. I'm in a book called The War at Home. I'm the last chapter in that book, and by Brian Glick. And Brian was explaining, and has me in that chapter, saying that I was in an organization, Boston Alliance Against Registration, the draft, and it turns out that everyone in the organization was FBI except for me and Frank, and I was badjacked by the FBI, and that's how I ended up in the last chapter of that book. Are you almost ready? Okay, they're almost ready. So, anyway, that's that story. And I hope you guys are having a great time out here. I'll step up my conversation in the next break with maybe some more happy stories about Food Not Bombs, but I wanted to make sure, because we started as an organization against war, that we made that point totally clearly here, that we have 3 principles. So, and I'm going to go into how that came about in the next break, but the 3 principles are that the food is always, our principles that food are always vegan, vegetarian, and free to anyone, rich or poor, drunk or sober. That's all 1,000 groups have agreed to that, although you'll see that meat slips in many groups, even though that's our agreement. And then that there's no president, headquarters. Each group's autonomous and makes decisions by consensus and encourages the people that are depending on our food to be participate in the meetings and help direct the organization. And the final one, and this is the one that the government most dislikes, is that we are not a charity, that we are dedicated to taking nonviolent direct action so that no one has to live in the streets or eat at a soup kitchen. And therefore, we're a threat to the state. We are a credible national security threat as a direct result of believing in that idea. So are you about ready? Okay, what are we doing? Thank you. Yay! Yep, so Gav, free Palestine! Free Palestine! We're not going to let false flags discourage us.